I want to call the meeting of Daviess County Fiscal Court, January 8th, 2015 to order. I want to welcome everyone here. Commissioner Castlen, would you lead us in prayer and pledge?
I will. Dear Heavenly Father, we pause for a moment to thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us, the community, and as a nation. We ask your blessing upon our proceedings this evening and guide us, give us your wisdom, send your spirit, guide us. We ask your blessing upon all those throughout our community, especially those that may be suffering from the cold, those who are struggling with illnesses, especially those struggling with chronic or terminal illnesses. We ask your blessing upon them and their families. We ask your blessing upon all those who, throughout the world, defend our freedoms. We ask you to protect them and keep them safe. We pray these things in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again I want to welcome everyone to our January 8th, 2015 Fiscal Court, Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. This is our first meeting of the year, and it's also the first meeting of our new Fiscal Court. And if you are one of the people that watch us on a regular basis, we appreciate those who do. The person to my right is not Jenny Warren, and the person to her right is not Jill Lambert, and the person to my left is not Charlie Castlen, and the person to George Wathen's left is not George Wathen, but our new commissioner from the East, my co-commissioner. Welcome to the commission.
Welcome.
Commissioner Castlen, thank you for the prayer and the pledge. Sheriff, I think you've been giving him some lessons. It gets just a little longer every time we ask him to do it. Commissioners, before we move forward, I would like to add an item to the agenda. That item has to do with payment of a debt service invoice that was left off. So if I could have a motion to add that item to as a B1, perhaps after all the claims.
So
Second.
Okay, I have a motion second. Any comment or question? There be none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, are you ready, Jerry?
I am. First on the agenda, consideration for presentation. A, Treasurer's Report for November 2014.
Mr. Hendricks.
Cash balance at November 30th, total balance is $24,183,894. That the general fund is $7,667,751. Through November, all accounts and activity is within expected ranges.
Any questions for the treasurer on that report? There being none, next item.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of the December 18, 2014 court meeting.
Move to approve.
Second. I have a motion and second. Commissioners, you've had a copy of the minutes in your packet for some time. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Coger, you're going to have to get quicker on the draw.
I believe.
All right. Commissioners, you've had a copy of all the bills due payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession for some time. Do you have any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
B1, debt service invoice.
I move to pay it.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Treasurer, let me know what we're doing here.
Yes, sir. As you know, we just refinanced the convention center bonds. Normally, I get this invoice early because we have a payment due by February. They left it on the same schedule to help us pay down cash quicker. It was all part of the deal that we did. So normally I have the invoice quicker. I only got it this afternoon. I looked at the court schedule. If the court schedule was a certain way, I wouldn't have a problem. But the way the court schedule is, the second court meeting is too late for me to wait. I can't take a chance on missing the payment date. There's a substantial penalty for that. So I would like to go ahead. So I'm asking the court for permission to go ahead and pay this debt service invoice. It's budgeted. It's all part of the refinance that we just did. So there's no shock, no surprise. There's no anomaly. It's simply a matter of timing because we just paid the old bonds off on January the 6th. So they sent us the invoice today. I'm asking permission to go ahead and pay it. It's still waiting in the next court. The total amount is $1,999,404.17. So I need the record to reflect that I get authority to do it so when the auditor looks at the payment.
Okay. Question or comment by the commission? Being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I guess I should have asked, did we have the money before we voted on it? Okay, thank you. Next item.
C, fund transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Hendricks.
Yes, I am requesting authority to make the following fund transfers: from the solid waste operating fund $100,000 to the debt service fund, from the general fund $800,000 to the downtown renovation bond fund, $300,000 from the general fund to the jail fund, and $400,000 from the general fund to the road fund. All these budgets, there's a normal quarterly transfer, and all these transfers are budgeted.
Question or comment by the commission? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
D, Davis County Sheriff's 2015 budget.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sheriff, won't you come up and get started, and that way if we have any questions, we bring Joe up, beat him up. We haven't voted on it yet.
We didn't make a motion before we could
That's
discuss.
right.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. We are here today requesting approval of our 2015 budget totaling $4.5 billion. This budget includes $133,800 in increased funding from fiscal court. $100,000 of that will be used to fund Dept and COLA raises for our officers. $10,000 to complete the Sheriff's Office's accreditation process, and $23,800 for the replacement of our officers' body armor. In an effort to explain our request, I would ask that you consider the following. The Sheriff is considered a fee office and expected to operate off 75% of our fees collected. Over the years, our income has not increased enough to cover the cost of doing business. Most of our fees are set by statute and have not changed for years. As recently as 2010, we had over $425,000 in open federal grants. In 2015, we have less than $50,000 in grants for which we may be eligible to apply. Tax commissions, too, have traditionally been a staple of our income. With property assessments just beginning to improve and with tax rates set by the taxing districts remaining largely unchanged, we have not seen any significant increase in this revenue source. Actual fees collected for services such as vehicle inspections, serving paper, concealed deadly weapons fees, interest earned, etc., actually declined $25,000 in 2014. Approximately 84% of our budget goes for salaries, employee-related benefits. Our salary structure provides for periodic step increases. We traditionally give annual cost of living raise to our staff. In 2015, we have 12 employees eligible for these step increases, and this year's COLA is set at 1.5%. $100,000 of the requested increases will fund step and COLA raises. As previously stated, $10,000 of additional funding is for accreditation. Accreditation is a progressive and time-proven way of helping institutions evaluate and improve their overall performance. Accredited departments benefit from the use of consistent and proven procedures, clearly outlined policy, and efficient practices. Accredited agencies also receive a 10% savings on their liability insurance through KICO. Ballistic vests have a lifespan of 5 years. After that, industry standards will not certify the reliability of vests and of course become dangerous to our officers. Periodically, we have purchased vests for new deputies and replaced expired vests with money within our budget. In 2014, we purchased 7 of these. In 2010, we received a grant which allowed us to enforce a mandatory wear policy and purchase vests for all of our deputies that did not have vests currently. 34 of these vests expire in 2015. Since grant funds are no longer available, the Fiscal Court has graciously agreed to provide $23,800 for the replacement of these units. This year's budget includes the elimination of 3 part-time positions and yet another full-time deputy. Due to fewer civil papers being presented for service, we eliminated a part-time position that was funded by serving civil process. In addition, with the reduction of meth grant, we eliminated a part-time clerk that was paid for with these grant funds. And through improved efficiencies in tax collection process, we eliminated a part-time tax clerk and now use existing administrative clerk to help with tax collection. In recent years, we have had difficulty in hiring part-time POPs, that police officer professional standard, certified officers work in our court security division. With the retirement of full-time deputy assigned to that division, we have eliminated that position in its entirety. We plan to use the savings to increase the hourly rate POP certified officer by $2 an hour in hopes to not only attract but retain the important officers. In addition, we plan to use the savings to help fund COLA increases for all the deputies required to replace patrol vehicles. Future savings, hopefully, from this change will be used to fund operating expenses of our office. In closing, let me take this opportunity to publicly thank each of you, the court, for their past and continuous support of our office. And while we don't always agree, Judge, we always leave the table with a mutual respect and understanding for each other's position. Secondly, I want to express my appreciation to my staff, who never shirk from their responsibility and their service to our constituents, regardless of budgetary restraints. And lastly, Joe Glenn himself, Chief Financial Officer, who is with me tonight, whose ability to maintain physical integrity of our office year after year is nothing short of magical. We request approval of our 2015 budget as outlined in this presentation and previously submitted to each of you for your review.
Thank you, Sheriff. And just a couple of comments or observations. First of all, your budget and the clerk's budget will be up next. They are on a calendar year.
That is correct, sir.
And unfortunately, our budgets are on a fiscal year, and people always wonder why we are approving your budget. And while we really do not control your budget and how you spend your money, your budget comes through the court to look at it and approve it. I appreciate the way that you and Joe work because there were some holes in that budget. But there never was a question on this fiscal court's part, particularly in the accreditation. I told you that all the things that are going on in the world today with policing and the public perception, I think accreditation is one of the things that we can point to. We are being proactive with our police force. And secondly, the safety air for the people that put their life on the line every day for us is absolutely critical and important. So we have no problem with a one-time request. I do appreciate the way that you work to find savings in your budget to take care of an unanticipated COLA for the next 6 months. And certainly, as we talked, we don't ever want to balance our budget on the backs of our employees. They certainly deserve what they're getting, plus much more, and I wish that we could do more for them. Commissioners, do you have any question or comment to the Sheriff?
I have a question. Sheriff Payne, with the 7 vests you said is already in compliance. I think you said 2014, and that in the last for 5 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And with the additional monies, that will allow additional vests for all the rest of your officers.
4 of, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. I wanted to make sure of that.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sheriff, when you mentioned the accreditation, the 10,000 is included in there for the accreditation. When do you, with that in the budget at the time, when do you anticipate having that done?
I'm wishing-
Calling them, getting
pushing
them.
our staff to have it completed by March, maybe as late as June, sir, depending on how quick that certain regulars can be met. For the most part, we're 90% complete in what we had to do. It's a matter of getting the inspection team down and have them inspect and go over everything. So hopefully, in 3 months, no later than 6 months, we will into the Daviess County Sheriff's Office to be a fully accredited officer.
Okay, very good.
Any other question or comment? And just one word by me, I appreciate Commissioner Castlen, you serving as liaison and the work you do with the Sheriff, with Joe, and getting things kind of moving along the line. Sheriff, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Commissioners, there being no other question or comment, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries.
E, Daviess County Clerk's 2015 budget.
To approve?
Second. I have a motion second. Oz, come on up there, bring that check. You promised me, you said I always bring you a check.
I do.
Okay.
Got it. Mail.
It's in the mail. All right, that's, I've heard that for the last 4 years. Welcome.
Well, first of all, thank you, and I want to thank all of you for working with us. But I want to say this: I apologize for not wearing a tie tonight. It's not an indication future attire due to the fact that I'm lamed up. No pun intended.
You meant every word of that. You meant all that pun.
But my father, it's his 84th birthday today, and my dad wanted to go to lunch with his grandkid and then to the matinee this afternoon and see a movie. And that's exactly what he got for his birthday. So excuse me for not wearing a tie. So first of all, I'd like to start out by thanking my staff and all that my staff does. I think every elected official knows that if you don't have a competent and good staff and support system, your ship is going to be sinking. And I've got a great staff and a great support system, and I just want to thank them all. And certainly want to thank, this is Pam Higgins' first rodeo up here as my Chief Financial Officer. And I want to thank Pam and all the work she's done on the budget. I want to thank my Chief Dept, Richard House, for all the work that he has done and does and held on the budget. So I always tell folks, you know, they do the rowing, and I just steer the ship. So that's about the extent of it. So with that said, I'd like to present our 2015 budget. Our 2015 budget. Lord, you'll notice this budget is a great deal lower than the one that I presented in 2014. It was a trying year for our budget down at the clerk's office. We were faced with declining receipts among other issues. In fact, we had a little more than a 2% decline in collections from fiscal year 2013. And even though we collected substantially less, we were able to net a budget surplus of over $70,000 through cost savings, mainly because of the loss of 2 employees, one through retirement and another through a career change. And that we were not going to replace those full-time employees. Again, it's a rough year, but we managed through it. We met our obligations. We were able to end the year in black. Going forward in 2015, the budget does project a less than 1% increase in collections, generate $1.8 million budget. Salary expenditure, again, much lower, does include up to a 2% increase for employees. However, it will not be put in place in the first quarter of 2015. If that time, after the first quarter, we see that we can support the increase, we see we can, then we'll give it. If we see that we do not have a figure, they don't support it, then we'll not be able to give a raise in 2015. You guys all understand that our raises are based on merit, and so not everybody is not across the board raise if we are able to get it. Our office expenditure is $25,000 lower than last year, which is representative of a contract negotiation in our recording department indexing vendor that will save us approximately $24,000 a year. I want to thank the court, especially all the work that you guys do. I know Keith says, and we do appreciate the work and relationship that we have. But especially today, or this evening, I want to recognize Jim Hendricks. I know he didn't like that, but I do. Him working with their health care costs has just been phenomenal, is all we can say. And people in Holland and what they've done. I mean, we used to chew our fingernails, literally, thinking of when a year in 2013 when Jim was going to come knocking on the door and we were getting another increase. And just a phenomenal job, and we just appreciate it. So, as I've been clerk, I've tried to follow a principle of making sure that the public's needs are met first, and that my employees see opportunity and advancement as long as they serve the public with respect and efficiency. The clerk's office has run and will continue to run based on the belief that we must live within our means and meet our obligations. With this said, I present for approval my 2015 budget.
Thank you. As always, it's a joy to work with you and your staff. Pam, I want to talk to you in the morning because I want to know the real story about where all the money is and whether or not he did put that check in the mail. Richard, doggone it, you got some elections running in this year. You'd be nervous as a mouse trying to get those done, but Richard always does a good job, and he's a yeah.
I do want to bring up, and I know I mentioned to you, but I do want to say publicly that because of an accounting, it's not an error, but an accounting adjustment to the state auditor's office, and one that we pretty vigorously tried to fight. But since that change in the way that we do things on some collections and some fees, the court this coming year is going to get $30,000 more than you have in previous years. I obviously will lose $30,000.
Wait a minute, you were vigorously fighting that?
I vigorously was
Okay,
fighting.
I just wondered.
So,
Okay.
I didn't mention that. No one guys that know that. There you go.
You notice that we all playing fiddle for you.
Oh, you always
All
say.
right. Commissioners, any question for Ross?
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say that for both of the sheriff and you, I didn't want to say it twice, but I want to just say that putting you both together, it's a pleasure to see the work that you do and the way your people take care of a business, take care of what you're charged to do, and you know it makes it pretty easy when you have as much integrity as both of you do. When you come with these numbers, you don't have to scratch your head and wonder, well, what are they hiding? What are they doing? Well, no, these are real numbers and real facts, and it feels pretty good from our perspective as well as yours. So thank you for
I
that.
appreciate it.
Commissioner, that's well said, and it's so true, and I say it all the time that in other counties there's not the cooperation between elected offices that we have here in this county. The sheriff says I always know that when both of these guys bring things to us, they need them. They wouldn't bring them. Now, they don't always get them. We can't always see eye to eye, but you know, that's our job. But certainly I know there's no fluff there. Commissioner, anything else? If there is none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
F.
Happy birthday to your dad.
I will tell them. Thank you.
Is it a good movie?
Not if you read the book. Unbroken.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
I just don't want you to spoil
Yeah, I hear you. Yes, go ahead.
F, contract with Camport to perform marketing services for the Bicentennial Committee.
Need motion, commissioners.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Smith.
Yes, this is a budget item. As hopefully everyone knows, especially after today's Rooster, this is our bicentennial year. Daviess County was formed by the legislature on June 1st, 1815. And so we've had a lot of volunteers do a lot of work at this point. But at this point in time, we need to have a professional marketing. And we approached Ms. Porter as she obviously can hit the ground running with her prior experience in working at the CBB, and quite frankly, we think probably getting a pretty good deal out of all the work she's going to be doing.
Okay.
Because truly, we don't want to put on a big party and have no one show up.
Right. Right, I hear you. Commissioners, question or comment?
I will add, this is a contract. She will not be an employee. That she will be working on contract. She will be an independent contractor. So she will be on our insurance. We won't be responsible for pension or Social Security.
This is in the monies that we budgeted for
So this
bicentennial.
was part of the budget that was submitted.
Commissioners, any question or comment? Okay. Okay. Is what you're looking at? Is that what you were calling at, Mr. Hendricks?
I have a different agenda as well.
Mine's it, contract with Karen Porter.
I think the problem was that Benny did not put new. I had to go get an agenda from the
Anything
site.
else different on?
Okay, I started to see George, why don't you get copies for all the commissioners, everybody up here.
Yes, there are a couple of other items that are different.
Okay.
So,
There you go. Yeah, F is a contract with Karen Porter to perform marketing
And
services.
I think it's a new H, just glancing at it.
okay.
So I wondered why you all were all looking at me cross-eyed. I was beginning to wonder what was going on.
Okay. All right. Any question or comment by the commission? Question or comment by the public? Are you sure you understand what's going to be done? You want to take a second and read through it, George?
Well, I see, I read it.
Okay. If there are no questions, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
D, declare surplus the 2005 Ford Crown Victoria from the Sheriff's Office in number 163081.
Move approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Gordon?
Yes, Judge. This vehicle has actually already been removed from the fleet. It's been placed in storage for some time. We've had some interest generated in the purchase of it, and we request approval to declare it surplus in order to place it in auction and be sold.
Okay. Question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
H, declare surplus 1995 EMC K30, Knottsville Fire Department Unit number 523, VIN number 43685.
Move approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Jordan?
Yes, Judge. This unit is currently located at Knottsville Fire Department. Knottsville FD has requested the approval to trade this vehicle toward a new rescue truck for that station. That rescue truck they will be paying for out of their money. And we request approval to declare surplus in order to facilitate the transaction.
So this vehicle belongs to fiscal court,
That's
and
correct.
we're going to declare surplus, allow them to trade it in on the vehicle that they're going to purchase themselves.
Yes.
Okay. Question or comment by the commission? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I, advertise bid number 6, 2015, the fifth wheel road tractor.
And the next one?
Bid number 7, 2015, 2 new open top walking floor trailers.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Smith?
Yes, these are two budget items within the transfer station. Both of them will be replacing vehicles or trailers that are, I think, 2002. So they will be replacing them that are 13 years old.
Are we ever going to stop buying open top walking floor trailers? It seems like we have bought 50 of those since the last 4 years.
Unfortunately, Judge, as you recall, when you all first came to office, we had 4 trailers that were purchased a couple of years apart that did not have an adequate support system to fit wheel, and they all failed, causing us to have to purchase 4 trailers 5 years ahead of schedule.
It almost seems like they're walking off.
Yes, it.
That was awful. That was just awful. Way to start the year, Commissioner.
It was laying there.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
again, this is a budget item.
Okay, a budget item. Commissioners, any question or comment?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Once we purchase these, then those will be also entered into our surplus auction. Is that correct? Or
We will actually make the decision. I think, Joel, we'll end up making a decision after we put it up for bids to whether or not we will trade these in or not.
okay.
In some cases, we may want to trade them in. In some cases, we may want to keep them, depending on the condition.
All right.
So
Thank you.
we'll
And-
bid them with or without a trade-in.
I think we may either bid with or without a trade, or we may make that decision ahead of time. For example, we may decide that another department this road tractor may be better than what another department has, and so we may hand it down instead of treating it in. It all depends on what the other department's needs are and what our internal needs are inside solid waste.
So does that answer come back to the commission before the decision's made, or do y'all make that decision? I don't know.
It'll be listed in a bid as an optional trade-in to where we can assess the value that someone would offer for it. The decision will be
Commissioner,
made.
at fiscal court, we're required to get permission, our staff is required to get permission to even advertise for a bid. So they will make that advertisement. Once those bids come in, they'll evaluate the bids, they'll make a recommendation. They will come back and make a recommendation to us. So we're just giving them permission to advertise for the bid. Once they get all the information together, they'll come back with that recommendation. We can accept their recommendation or say, no, we want to do something else. So we always have a second chance to look at what it costs.
Okay. Thank you.
It's kind of different than what we do in the real world. Okay. Any other questions? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
J, bond releases reductions for Lake Forest, Unit 4, concrete sidewalk, Unit 20, concrete basin surface, Unit 21, sidewalk, Unit 22, inlet cleanup, Unit 33, concrete surface and sidewalk.
Move approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Brasher, welcome, even though you are late.
Thank you, Judge.
What, for noticing that you were late or for welcoming you?
Sir.
I thought so.
These public improvements have been reviewed and inspected, and we found them complete, and I recommend approval.
Question or comment by the commission? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
A, bond release for Deer Valley Section 1 sidewalk and maintenance.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Basher.
Yes, Judge. These public improvements have also been reviewed and inspected and found to be complete. I recommend approval.
Question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Consideration for appointment. A, Commissioner Charlie Castlen as Daviess County Deputy Judge, Executive Term 1/1/2015 to 1/20/2017.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, you'll notice that there was a misprint on the original agenda. This is a 2-year appointment, and the appointment is for assumption of duties of county judge executive by fiscal court member. He acts as a county judge in my absence. He would lead meetings here, but we're not appointing him and giving him any more power than he otherwise would have as a commissioner during a meeting. I think it's pretty important that we do that so that there is some continuity of leadership. Any question or comment? And I assume Commissioner Castlen, you'll not vote on this.
I'll abstain, yes.
Okay. Question or comment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Commissioner Castlen, thank you for agreeing to do this.
Yes, sir.
B, Susan Freed to OMPC Board of Appeals, filling the unexpired term of Louis Jean, served a partial term.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I talked to Susan again today. I thank her for her willingness to serve. She will do a good job for this commission. As you are aware, Louis Jean was appointed to be our representative on the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission and replacing Wally Taylor. So, Susan, if you're watching out in TV land, thank you very much. Question or comment? There being none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
4, consideration for discussion.
What?
I don't know about the others on there, and there's, I have some things in my agenda that are not listed on the agenda. I just wondered if the court was not to do, or there was something missing.
There was one appoint. Let me see what it is.
There should be
Bid evaluation
bid
report,
evaluation.
and then I have a bond release for Deer Valley that we didn't.
did that.
We did that.
But there should be 2 bid evaluations on the vehicles.
I'm sorry. They're not there.
Since they were on original. They're here.
They're in your, I think they're in your packet.
Okay.
They're in the packet.
They're in the packet, but I don't see them on either agenda that I have, the new one or the old. So I assume they be other business.
We can do those under other business.
Business, I think so, Judge.
Okay.
Here, Judge, you want to see what?
No, I've got a copy of them, but they were not on my agenda nor on the other agenda.
Right.
Okay.
Jordan, before we do that, do we need to move on these at this meeting?
They can easily be deferred if you would prefer.
That's up to the court.
Commissioners, why don't we just defer them to our next meeting?
Okay.
And we might kind of look and see what happened there. I don't know if they got, well, never mind. We'll get to the bottom of this. Was that all that you noticed, Claude?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Other business?
Approval to hire Ronald W. Whitworth Jr. as service technician in the Department of Public Works, commencing January 12, 2015, subject to successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Mark, you want to tell me, number one, tell me why we're doing this, and then I think Mr. Whitworth is in the audience, and we'll ask him to stand. And
Who was the second? Who was the second?
George?
Okay, I didn't.
If this is the way the rest of the year is going, I'm gonna.
I don't have a clue.
Under other business?
He just added his other business.
Oh,
Other business,
okay.
yeah. Mark, do you have anything that you want to say?
Yes, Judge.
Thank God. Help me out here.
This is this position is to replace a retirement that's going to occur at the end of February. Obviously, at this time of the year, with snow and ice removal and so forth, our intent is to get the replacement employee in, get him trained, get him ready for snow and ice events, so we have full force during the event that we may have this year. We have unanimously recommended Ronald Whitworth for this position.
Mr. Whitworth, won't you stand? Welcome to the Daviess County Workforce. Appreciate you and hope you have a good, long, and successful career with us. Question or comment by the commission? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
B, public comments.
This is time during our meeting in which we ask the public to come forward and identify themselves. They're welcome to speak on anything other than what was on the agenda. Do we have any takers? Steve, you sure you don't want to get up there and ask a question? Yeah, you're afraid that you will be on the agenda too, right? Yeah, next item.
C, comment by Daviess County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Castlen.
I'll pass.
Commissioner Watson.
I just want to publicly welcome Mike Coker.
Thank you.
Right here.
Commissioner Coger.
I'm glad to be here.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope it's a safe new year, a prosperous new year. Secondly, commissioners, the first week in November, or I'm sorry, in February. I've got November on my brain. Next fiscal court meeting is January 22nd, 2015 at 5 p.m. I think at our last meeting, it had gotten, yeah, Claude, I know, on the last meeting, we actually changed it to the 15th, but that was an error. The meeting will actually be the 22nd of January, 2015 at 5 p.m. In February, at our first meeting in February, which would be on the 5th, Commissioner Coger and I will be at training in Lexington at the Kentucky Judge Executive Association training. I don't know, Commissioner Castlen, if you or Commissioner Watson are scheduled to go.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay. What I would like to do, if it would be okay with you, would to move that meeting to February the 3rd at 5 p.m. That is a Tuesday, February the 3rd at 5 p.m. Check your calendar and see if there is any issue.
Good with me.
Okay. Are you okay, Commissioner Castlen?
Yes, sir, I am.
And Commissioner Coger, you'll be okay, and I will be okay. So our first meeting in February will be the 3rd, February the 3rd at 5 p.m. Also, Commissioners, I don't have the date in front of me, but I believe that KICO Legislative Day and meeting with the legislators in Frankfurt is going to occur sometime in February at the 3rd Thursday in February, so we may have a need to move that meeting. I'll try to find that out. And
That is correct.
is that correct?
It is that day.
So I think if you want, what we might do, if there is no conflict, we might move a meeting to Tuesday, and why don't we try that meeting at 10 a.m., just kind of change it up and give people who perhaps can't get to the 5 p.m. an opportunity to come at 10. But I will give you further information on that as we get closer.
So not right now.
Not
Okay.
right now.
All
That's
right.
not firm.
All right.
Okay. Well, we got through that first meeting. I guess we got all the business done the fiscal court of Daviess County needs to do. So if there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court, with that exception, we're adjourned.